Hey guys, it's Miss Reed. So today you are starting a new unit for ELA from our CKLA curriculum. It's called, the topic is Geology. So when you click on Google Classroom today, you'll see it says this, Geology Lesson 1. The directions, read the lesson presentation in Google Slides. That's this right here. You'll click on it. When you open it, it'll look like this on the first page. You're going to go through this, and it's going to talk about what geology is. It's going to talk about our objective for today. It gives you a little bit of information about your reader. You're going to be doing chapter 1 today, and these are the key vocabulary words. I'm just going to read through them so that you can just know how they sound, because you're going to be completing on Google Forms a vocabulary quiz, and you can use this to help you. It should be an easy 100. But there are a lot of scientific vocabulary words for this unit, so it's important that we understand what they actually mean. So our vocabulary words for chapter 1 are catastrophe, erupt, observation, evidence, fossil, geologist, climate, conclude, dense, hypothesis, and continental drift. So you will, again, we'll see these later, and you will do your vocabulary quiz on them. You'll also see them when you do your reading. So your next step is to open the reader to chapter 1, Earth's Changing Surface. When you go to Google Classroom, it'll look like this. It says Reader Geology PDF. You can also, as you read it, this is what it looks like after you get through it. As you read it, you can be listening to my recording of it if you want to listen to me read it, because it is a little challenging and rigorous to read because it's scientific. You can click on this link right here and follow along in the reader, but make sure that you are reading along as you listen to me read it out loud. So you should have done all those things up until this point. If you haven't, pause the video right now and do all of those things that we just talked about. And then when you're ready to get to the Google Doc, you can open this back up. So once you have finished reading chapter 1, you can do your Google form now, or you can wait. It's up to you. You could do it first, you could do it second, but you're going to complete this Google Doc, and we're going to do it together. So I already gave you a little bit of evidence here too. The directions for the Google Doc. It says the following chart contains a statement about Alfred Wegener. So I know it looks like it's a W, but it's pronounced Wegener. The continental drift hypothesis. Using information from the excerpt, write 5 pieces of evidence that support Wegener's hypothesis. So his hypothesis, and this is pretty much the whole point of reading this chapter, is that long ago, continents were joined as one supercontinent, they called it Pangea, that broke apart, and the pieces slowly drifted away from each other. So that is Wegener's continental drift theory, and it's now accepted. It wasn't originally when he came out with it, but there's a lot of evidence that proves that this is actually true, that all of our continents that we have today were at once all connected to each other. But with all of these natural forces of the earth and whatnot that you'll learn about in later chapters throughout this unit, they basically split apart, and now we have our 7 continents that are separated by the oceans. So it's pretty cool. So we're looking for 5 pieces of evidence that prove that this is true. So you can use evidence throughout the entire chapter that we read today. I found a piece of evidence already that I provided you with. It says polar explorers had recently unearthed fossils of Glossopteris. I'm definitely slaughtering that word, in Antarctica. Similar fossils had previously been found in other parts of the world. So this is a piece of evidence that proves that the continents were once stuck together, because if there are evidence of this animal in Antarctica, but let's say there's evidence of it also in South America, then at one point they had to both be pushed together, because how are they going to live in different places? How did the animal get from one place to another place? They can't fly. This is probably a mammal, so it can't actually fly from one place to the other. So at one point these continents were stuck together. All right, so this is one piece of evidence. We can look elsewhere in the text. This is another good one. They found fossils of an ancient reptile, Lystrosaurus. I'm killing these words. in both Southern Africa and India. So I'm actually going to copy this from here, and I'm going to paste it because this is, again, more evidence. It's like pasting funny, so make sure you fix it when you get it. This is more evidence that, like, there's these different species, like, right, on different continents now, but how did they get from one continent to the other in ancient times, basically? So without being, like, people having some kind of influence on it. So these continents were connected because these animals, like, were in the same exact place at one point in time. So this is another piece of evidence. Let's look for another piece of evidence. And this is a good one. It says, during the 1800s and early 1900s, geologists studied rock layers on the continents. They made many intriguing discoveries. For example, rock layers along the northern and eastern coast of South America match rock layers along the African west coast. This is a very good piece of evidence. So that's showing that the land is, like, very similar in these two different places that were probably connected once, and you can see it even on this diagram right here. So this is a really good piece of evidence. I don't normally condone of copying and pasting, but in this instance, we can. Ooh. And again, just, like, fix this because it looks, like, nightmarish when you do that. That's why we don't copy and paste it. So what I want you to do is I want you to find, I just gave you 3 pieces of evidence, so you need to find 2 of your own pieces of evidence that prove that these continents were once before, like, in ancient times, obviously a long, long, long time ago, stuck together and that they separated. So you need to find 2 more pieces of evidence. Fill in this. Make sure it looks like normal. It doesn't look a hot mess like what it looks like right now for me. I'm going to fix it. Make sure you submit it so you get credit. 4th grade is starting a really cool contest this week that with every assignment that you do and you put your best effort in, you're going to be entered into a contest to win pizza on Friday, like a whole pizza, and we're going to send it to your house. You can't actually get credit and you can't be entered in if you're not doing your best work. And if, like, you're submitting stuff that is, like, half blank. So if anything is submitted half blank, you're not going to get credit for it. You're not going to be able to be entered into the contest. So make sure you do your best work. All you have to do on this is write 2 more pieces of evidence. And then you have to do your vocabulary, which you can use your Google Slides to help you with. So if you have any questions, let us know. I'll see you soon.